going on, guys? Welcome to the freaking Flash video that is hella late. Apologies for that, but things here at the Juicy studio have been kinda upside down lately. Ooh, Stranger Things. Have you guys seen that new photo? Man, I love Stranger Things, and it's gonna be a freaking trailer tomorrow on Super Bowl, and I can't wait. Anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about, but I will probably cover that trailer because, man, I'm gonna love that. Anyways, let's talk about the freaking Flash. Not sure how you guys felt about this week's episode, but I thought it was like a fun filler episode. I wasn't like, you know, amazed by anything that happened in it. The best thing about this episode, and I'm pretty sure we can all agree, was Gypsy. Like, Gypsy was awesome, and the whole banter between Gypsy and Cisco was legit, and I enjoyed it, and I'm kind of hoping, you know, something, you know, she comes back, and maybe there's a little something there. I don't know. I believe there's going to be an episode where they go to HR's world, and that might be where we see Accelerated Man or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. But, so I'm hoping they meet again because I like their chemistry. It was really badass, and I think that was the best part of this episode. But other than that, the episode didn't really have too much to offer in my mind. We got to see how Julian works with the team. He looks like he's going to be the strategist of this team, and like I've said, I hope he stays on. I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it's money-wise, but I feel like he's only going to be on this season. Hopefully, he's going to be on season 4. Because I like his dynamic. I like his, like, bluntness. Like, he's like, what? You know, you're gonna die. Like, I really like that part of Julian. Malfoy. Oh, look, see, now that he's not he's not playing a villain anymore, it's hard for me not to call him Malfoy. But he's Malfoy still. Anyway, so we got to see that he is going to be, like, the strategist. He even built, you know, that Lego set, which was pretty badass. Lego Future. So it's gonna be cool. I like to see his dynamic on this team, and that's going to be pretty badass to, you know, see what's going to happen in the future, because it looks like they've had some cool stills. Like I said, there's that one, he's going to be part of the Gorilla Grodd episode. He's probably going to help them find Gorilla Grodd, and that is going to be pretty interesting when that goes down. Speaking of Malfoy, though, we also got the revelation that Barry is not fast enough, and Malfoy flat out told him, like, look, this is where you are right now, and in your progression of how fast you've gotten over time, you need to be here in the next 5 months, and you ain't gonna be there, son. So, that is one of the biggest things that we found, that Barry's not gonna be able to become fast enough unless something amazing happens to him. And we saw that at the end of the episode, that he's all like, I'm not gonna save Iris. You are, Wally, motherfucker. So now it looks like everything's gonna shift from Barry being the hero to, you know, Wally being the hero and saving Iris, which is pretty cool, and it's very different, especially if Wally West is going to save Iris, you know, his sister. He has a stake in this too. He has a reason to want to save her, you know. He loves her platonically, or if that's the proper word. But yeah, so, you know, he has a stake in trying to save his sister because he doesn't want anything to happen. You know, he doesn't want his dad to freak out. You know, Joe would be, like, heartbroken. You know, he just became, you know, he just realized he had a sister recently, so of course he's going to want to save her. So that is the new dynamic of the show at the moment, which I think is, like I said, it's pretty cool. I like that aspect, you know, because Barry's not always going to be the hero, and it's cool that since they do have another speedster and they do have new team members, that they find out another way to beat Sabotage. Staying on the whole Wally West thing, totally gets owned by Gypsy. He's all like, oh, you think I'm fast? Oh, she just freezes him. She's like, yeah, you don't know anything about your powers, son. So that was pretty bad. I love Gypsy. She was just like, one, she was gorgeous, and then she was a badass, and like, it was just really awesome. I just love Gypsy. But anyways, she owns Wally. More with Wally, we see that Wally and that whole Iris from the alternate timeline, they're going to start trying to be like brother-sister duo, which I wonder if that's actually going to be what they're going to start doing now after Joe dies. There are a lot of theories out there. Maybe the reason Joe gets honored is because he dies in action, and one of the people that suffers a fate worse than death is probably Iris or one of the kids, because what would be worse than death? Seeing somebody you love die, that'd probably be worse, because you gotta deal with it. Anyways, that stuff's for another video, but let me know what your theories in the comment sections down below. If Joe were to die, that would be a cool little dynamic of, you know, the brother-sister team taking on crime in their father's, you know, respect for their father. With that whole little team up, Iris grows a pair that's like super big, because she goes and straight up just gets in the guy's face, and she's all like, what's up? You gonna shoot me, bitch? Do it. I'm supposed to live for another 5 months. And this is what is blowing my mind, okay? Like, this is the difference between time travel in The Flash and time travel in Doctor Who. Like, Doctor Who, when he's traveling through time and his companions are all like, oh, well, I saw myself in the future, so of course I could do whatever the hell I want. He's like, no, bitch, no, time can be rewritten, like, it can change at any moment. You die here, you could never be born in the future, so you need to chillax, alright? That is how it works in, like, the Doctor Who world, but they don't have that kind of mindset over here in the Flash universe. They're just all like, 5 months, pff, man, I can do whatever the fuck I want because I've already seen the future. And, like, Barry, of all people, should know, like, oh no, shit changes. If I fuck up the timeline, I fuck up y'all's whole lives. Like, it doesn't mean y'all are good. So I always find that hilarious that people are like, oh man, I saw myself in the future. Like, fuck, do whatever I want. It's like, no, that's not how time travel works. Staying on the topic of Iris now, I know a lot of people think I hate Iris for some reason because I'm like, oh, I hate this dynamic, or I wish Patty would come back. I don't hate Iris. I just think it's way too soon for this relationship because what if this show goes 10 seasons and we're just gonna have Iris getting in trouble the same time? It's gonna be the same relationship stuff over and over and over, and like, that's just, I mean, I already have a problem with Flash being way too repetitive. Same type of villains, same type of secret identity shit. Like, it's just the same stuff, and I want things to be a little different. And then if you're gonna give me the same relationship for the next 10 years, I'm just gonna be like, I mean, they'll probably break up at some point, and maybe Barry will date somebody else, like Patty. Could please bring Patty back? But anyways, I don't hate Iris, and I will say that I actually really relate to Iris right now in this season because I mentioned it in my last Flash video where she got all scared about the whole death thing. Well, she did another thing that I totally relate to, and she was talking about how she wants to write a story and she wants to leave her mark on this world because she doesn't want to just be a blip. Like, she doesn't want to just be like a random person in history that nobody cares about. Like, I have that same freaking mindset. I'm like, I want to do something great so I live on forever. Because, you know, that's like, it's like the death thing. Like I said, I'll probably end up doing a video on this one day in my life. But, like, the whole death thing is just weird because it's like, you're there and then you're gone. And then, like, nobody remembers you. But unless you become, like, a legend, then everybody remembers you. Call it an ego thing, but sometimes it helps me sleep better at night. I'm not even going to lie about that. So with Iris talking about how she wants to write this story or change the world with this story, totally could relate to you right there, Iris. Finally, on to the Cisco versus Gypsy thing, which was the best part of this episode. And, like, you know, he stood up for HR, which is, I'm so glad that they're building that bond. And Cisco said, like, you know, through my whole time that I've been working here at Star Labs, or through all these different times I've met, you know, Harrison Wells, it's always been him saving my life. This time around, I want to be able to be there to save his life. So that is pretty cool, pretty awesome of Cisco to do that, you know, to put the shoe on the other foot, as they say. So I thought that was pretty badass. We saw HR get capped by Gypsy when she showed up, which I thought was awesome. Like I said, I loved Gypsy in this episode. She had that, like, tough girl attitude, but at the same time, she had a little pinch of sweetness, too. Anyways, we had the funny trial by combat thing, of course. We had Barry not believing in Cisco again by trying to go beat Gypsy while Cisco was training or whatever. And, of course, like, bro, Barry, stop. You fuck up everything, bro. You need to be the world's fastest fuck up. That needs to be your title. Because you do everything wrong, man. You can't do anything right. Freaking crossover wasn't that long ago, and you guys just became boys again, and you're gonna start doing crap like this? Like, believe in your boy! Anyway, so Gypsy kicks Barry's ass and totally makes him look dumb, and he's all like, oh, that's it, I'm taking HR, and he's like, no, Cisco will fight you, and you can kill him or whatever. You know, there's all of that jazz, but I don't know, Barry sometimes, dude, blows my mind with not trusting people and just fucking up every timeline possible. But we get to finally see Cisco actually be in his suit and use his powers and do all of that jazz. Like I said, we got to see Malfoy become the strategist, and, you know, he showed Cisco how to beat Gypsy. And, you know, when she goes, she has that signature move where she's off the ground when she comes through the portal, and he's all like, watch out! And then freaking she fell down, and she was like, oh, I lost. And, you know, he was freaking holding her down with his powers, and he was like, oh, you like that, baby? And, you know, that's, I don't know, maybe they're, like, vibing together. You know, I don't know, man. They both vibe. They could have some weird, kinky shit going on. It was cool that when they were fighting, they were going to fight in different Earths. That was badass. And I can only imagine how that would be, like, on a bigger scale. Like, if that would happen in movies, that would be pretty legit to see, like, just different fighting on different worlds. Because we saw them go to Supergirl's world, which is pretty badass. They went to Earth 2, then they went to, like, that fiery place. I wonder what that was. But yeah, they did a bunch of different world jumping and fighting, and I thought that was pretty badass, and I can only imagine how that would be on a bigger scale. Or if there was like, you know, an earth-to-earth fight, like, whoo, everybody just jumping back and forth fighting and shit, that would be legit. Like I said, the fight ends with Cisco using the move that Malfoy told him to use, and he beats Gypsy, and he tells her, you know, she's all like, and you can take my life, and he's all like, nah, I'll take you to dinner, bitch. And there's a lot of flirting going on, and they're about to kiss, and she burns Cisco so hard, she's like, oh, girl, that's cold, girl. Like, you know, like cold where you gotta put on a winter jacket and you got like 3 jackets on, but it's still super cold, and you gotta put on a scarf and you gotta put on a beanie, but it's still that cold. That's how cold you were, girl. That was a super burn on Cisco, and I was like, man, Gypsy, you, that's cold, girl. Like, but anyways, that's it, guys. I mean, I didn't really, like I said, this episode wasn't like super like, oh, to me. Let me know if there's anything I missed. That, I mean, it's been a few days since I watched it, and like I said, I wasn't super pumped for it, but let me know if there's like, Juice, you missed something like really huge, man, like you should have talked about this. That way I can cover it later, or I can just be like, oh shit, I should pay attention more. But anyways, guys, let me know, or I should say, let me know what you thought of this episode. Did you like Gypsy? Do you want to see her back more? You know, how was it cool? How cool was it to see Cisco actually using his powers in a badass way for once? Anyways, that is it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with all your Flash buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. If I'm a daily dose of juice, see you guys next time. Bye!